Hey guys, Pedro here to tell you about the latest from Full of Hell, Broken Sword, Rotten Shield. This EP comes out May 16th on Closed Casket. It has 7 tracks, 15 minutes in length, and this is the band's 10th EP. They are a grindcore American band. Now, as far as this release is concerned, I honestly feel like this EP serves 2 main purposes. One is that it gives fans a few new songs to listen to, a few new meaty tracks. It allows the fan base to get something to digest from the band so that the band stays on par and it stays relevant, considering how many bands are around there and how many releases are happening. These days it almost forces band to not be too far in between releases, so this EP kind of helps from that standpoint, and it also becomes the prelude to the upcoming North American tour with Harm's Way, a massive North American tour with Harm's Way. So this EP, in my opinion, fits these 2 criteria or meets these 2 prerequisites, and because of that, it really checks all the boxes. It also allows them to be a little bit more experimental. It allows them to be a little bit more creative, think outside the box, try different things, see what works, and just not really care about a sense of format or cohesiveness that perhaps a record would force them to. Now, as far as these 7 songs are concerned, I'm going to go track by track, starting off with Broken Sword, Rotten Shield, the title track, and this is a brutal, driven opening song that has pedal to the metal written all over it from the get-go. It has this onslaught of heaviness and density. This is a very dense sounding song, and a lot of the heaviness and brutality of the song really comes from that density of sound. Now, at the midway point, the track switches up and it gets a little bit more clarity around the guitar sound. It becomes almost a more guitar-centric song. That doesn't last very long. The density creeps back in and the track reverts to its original style, to its original format. Now, this allows the song to really close itself in, have a sense of a nucleus in the middle, but really be closed in by that density, by that heaviness, and vocally is a very intense track from start to end, and all of that adds to the overall brutality of the song. Then we have From Dog's Mouth, A Blessing. This is the shortest track on this EP, is 49 seconds in length, and it's a more of a noise-driven style song. You get that experience not just from the sound, but also from the overall length, which is not that much, 49 seconds. So it's a short track that packs a lot in that 49 seconds of existence, if you will, and perhaps it packs a lot more vocally than it does musically, because musically the song stays very linear, but vocally there's really 2 different approaches that this track offers, both of them with a lot of distortion surrounding the vocals, almost of an industrial vibe, but that makes the song almost expand in the length that it has, or at least it gives you that feeling of expansion, and it definitely makes the track a lot more engaging and a lot more dynamic. Then you have Corpselight, a more atmospheric drone style sound song, and it has that also in a very linear way. It's a track that really lives off of the atmosphere of the sound, unsettling sound that the song has. It's a very unsettling song all around, but very linear from start to end. It keeps its consistency both musically and vocally. It never really deviates from it. It just creates a completely different sound texture from the 2 previous songs, like I said, with more of a drone influence. Then you have Lament of All Things. Lament of All Things, it's perhaps a little bit more guitar focus. There's a little bit more clarity on the guitar sound, on the influences that it has, and on the impact that it offers to the song. Vocally, you see the infusion of aggression and intensity, and this is perhaps the main common denominator almost throughout every single song, is the vocal performance always add that sense of intensity and aggression. This track is no different, even though from a guitar standpoint, the guitars feel like they have a lot more room and they're able to breathe a lot better in the overall context of the song, becoming almost more a punk rock style song in terms of how the guitars diverge from everything else around it. Next on the list you have Mirrorhelm, another more atmospheric piece with some drone elements, but definitely not as droney as Corpselight. This track still has a lot of that, but it's a more atmosphere piece. It has a lot more of an atmospheric soundscape, atmosphere that really drives the song forward, that plants his fingerprint on it and really helps define it. Then we have Night's Oath. Now, Night's Oath is perhaps one of the most complete songs on this EP. I would say outside of Broken Sword, Rotten Shield, and the closing track, this is definitely one that has a more defined, well-balanced structure to it. It's a track that has great guitar sound all around. I think the guitars sound the best, or they have the more sense of direction and purpose on this song versus any other track. They have a clear impact, they're a little bit edgy, a little bit trippy. The drums pack a lot of heaviness on the back end, but it's not a dense sounding song as Broken Sword, Rotten Shield was. And because it's not as dense, the guitars have a little bit more clarity to them, becoming a more of a central focal piece of the song, dominating the soundscape and dominating what pushes this song forward and what's going to carry the listener along for the ride. Last but definitely not least, To Ruin and the World Ending, featuring Cruelty on this track. Now, this is the longest song on the EP, just a little bit over the 4-minute mark. A fuzzier guitar sound. I would say that this is definitely a more sludgier song. I would go even as far as to say that this is a very doomy, sludgy song all around. Very methodic. Doesn't lose anything as far as heaviness and as far as aggression and intensity is concerned, but it has a different type of aggression and has a different type of intensity, coming a lot more into the forefront through the vocal performance, not necessarily through the sound, because the sound really drags along with that sludginess of fuzziness of guitar sound, and then obviously having that more methodic presence with a heaviness behind it, creating this darker atmosphere that also gives the song that doom experience from beginning to end. Definitely a drawn out track that closes this EP perfectly. This is it. Full of Hell, Broken Sword, Rotten Shield, once again out May 16th on Closed Casket. Hit me up in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you all at the next video. Take care, guys.